Welcome back to today's second stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Today we do have some good news. So it's good news that we have some good news. However, this good news is somewhat disguised as bad news. So I just want to address that. We're going to talk about the second stimulus check. We're going to talk about unemployment. We're going to talk about Donald Trump, President Trump's executive order that he will probably do maybe today or tomorrow. We're also going to dive into 2 new rental assistance programs. And lastly, we are going to address COVID-19 news for today. So let's get into it. First off, okay, happy Saturday. It is currently the weekend. Hopefully you're doing something productive. Hopefully you are working and making some money. Now, we do have some good news, okay? We finally have good news, and I want to address that very soon. First, negotiations between Nancy Pelosi, Charles Schumer, Mark Meadows, and Steve Mnuchin ended up breaking down Friday afternoon. They went in for a grueling 2-hour negotiation session, and it eventually fell apart. Currently, there are no plans for those 4 to get into a room together for future negotiations. That is what is stated today by Stephen Mnuchin. Okay? Now, here's what the good news is. Okay, I don't want you to wait around all the video just to hear the good news. The good news that is disguised as bad news is Nancy Pelosi recently asked Republicans, or specifically Mark Meadows and Stephen Mnuchin, if they could come up from their $1 trillion price tag to $2 trillion. And the Democrats would in turn take their $3 trillion package and give it a haircut, give it a little trim, and they'd come in at $2 trillion. That way they'd both meet halfway, right in the middle, at $2 trillion. And Steve Mnuchin very quickly responded and said, no, that is a non-starter. Now, why is this good news? This is good news because until yesterday, until last night, Nancy Pelosi was very adamant that she wanted that $3 trillion stimulus package. And she would not waver. She would not come down at all. Not a single dollar. And now she's cutting it by $1 trillion. That's huge. That is a win for Republicans. That is also a win for Democrats because, if you remember, Republicans only wanted to offer $1 trillion as a stimulus package. So bringing it up and doubling their current bill should be seen as a win for Democrats. However, it's not really the case. Now, Mark Meadows says Democrats will not support a stimulus package that's under $2 trillion. He also stated Republicans will not support a stimulus package over or even near $2 trillion. So currently, a deal looks like it's going to be impossible. If you remember from yesterday's video, I stated how Nancy Pelosi and both Steve Mnuchin stated that they want to get a hard line number. They need a number that they can work off of. And that's essentially what Nancy Pelosi did overnight, is she decided, okay, maybe talking to Charles Schumer or other Democrats, who knows, but she decided, all right, we could still accomplish a lot of our goals. We could still help out the American people if we had a $2 trillion stimulus package. But as of right now, Mark Meadows stated that it looks like a deal is impossible, which as of right now, it pretty much is. Now, in regards to that $2 trillion package, that $2 trillion stimulus bill, what you need to understand is a $1,200 stimulus check would still be included in that. What will most likely be taken away, there will probably be, if that were to pass, I'm not saying it's going to pass, I'm not saying they're even close to a deal, but if that were to pass, a few things that would be gone that a lot of people have been talking about. Number one would be hazard pay for essential workers. It would be seen as too expensive and unneeded at this time. Okay, I'm not saying that's me that would do that, but I'm saying that's what it looks like. Okay, that's just based off of reports. Also, the state and local government funding, that $900 billion that the Democrats wanted from the HEROES Act, that would be cut down significantly. Yeah, I don't know how much, but that would be cut down quite a bit as well. As far as the unemployment number, that $600 per week boost, most likely what's going to happen is instead of it extending all the way throughout the year, hopefully this pandemic, comes and goes quickly, and the employment, the numbers, go back to normal, people go back to work, and everything goes back to the way things were in the great life, right? The way we used to live. However, if that doesn't happen, the unemployment benefit or that unemployment boost would essentially run out, because what they would do is instead of extending unemployment for multiple months, it would actually be shorter. So how short? Again, nobody knows. This is just talks. These are just reports as of right now. Okay, Nancy Pelosi offered the $2 trillion stimulus package, and Steve Mnuchin rejected it immediately. So let's talk about President Trump's executive action. Now, you already know this, but due to negotiations coming to a complete standstill, President Trump's advisors, who are Mark Meadows and Steve Mnuchin, have been advising President Trump to take executive action. Now, this would happen as soon as today, possibly any time this weekend. Steve Mnuchin stated that there are currently things being drawn up by lawyers, and as soon as things are done and ready, they will be taken. These actions will be taken. Currently, the executive actions that President Trump, has stated, and this is something that he stated in an interview last night at his golf course in New Jersey, but he said the plans that he wants to include, number one, these aren't in any order. Number one, the payroll tax cut throughout the end of the year. That would save you about 7.5% on your wages. And this would actually be retroactive from July 1st. And as far as how you get the money or how you get that retroactive pay, again, nobody knows. These are still, early stages. This is just what President Trump stated last night. He also stated he wants to include the eviction ban extension, which we all kind of knew that, and most people were wondering why he's waited so long to even do that in the first place. But just understand, even though you get this eviction ban extension, you still have to pay back your back rent. So even though you may not be evicted now, if you can't pay back your back rent later on, once the eviction ban expires, that's when you're going to be evicted. So it does help, but it's kind of like Nancy Pelosi stated in an interview a couple days ago. It's kind of like kicking the can down the road. You just keep kicking it. At some point, it's going to stop. Now, the next thing is President Trump wants to suspend student loan payments. And this would be for a foreseeable future. We don't know exactly when this would stop. And chances are this is not on every single student loan. This is just for federal loans. Okay. Then the last thing is he wants to include unemployment extension. And we don't know if it's the $600 per week unemployment boost that it was, or if it's going to be a different number. He stated in his interview, okay, and if you read between the lines, he stated that he wants to extend the federal unemployment benefit. Now, an extension would mean it is the exact same as it was, it's just extended. Okay? If it's he's going to make some type of, alterations to it, then, or an amendment, he didn't say that. He didn't say he wants to extend an amended unemployment benefit. He just said extend it. So we don't know exactly what that means. We will probably find out sometime this weekend. And the last thing, which he did not include, is that $1,200 stimulus check. There's going to be a lot of people here on YouTube, I know for sure, but even the media are going to throw that in there and say this is what could be coming. Look out, check your bank account, all this stuff, right? That's not going to happen. President Trump cannot get that much money, and as of right now, it might not happen where he is able to include the unemployment extension at this time. He may try, it may somewhat work, we don't know, but we're going to have to wait and find out. But as of right now, the stimulus checks, the $1,200 stimulus checks to filers and $500 for individuals or $500 for dependents, no matter your age, That right now is probably not going to happen. It's very unlikely because it will cost too much money, and there's no way, based on reports, that President Trump can move around that much money to actually pay for this. Okay, so that's what we know right now. Now, let's address some rental assistance programs. Okay, so first off, more and more counties are now starting to offer some form of rental assistance. But here's, and I stated this before, I want to state it again, be very clear. Even if the eviction moratorium is extended, you still are on the hook to pay any back rent. So because of that, you need to be 100% sure, okay, that you have the money. Currently, there are more Americans that live on paycheck to paycheck than currently have any type of savings. For example, a $500 emergency fund, many Americans don't have it. So if, and only if, the eviction moratorium gets extended, okay, this will help a lot of people, a lot of families to stay in their homes and to figure stuff out, however long it takes. But again, you need to understand that it will be almost impossible to pay any back rent if your landlord is expecting a lump sum or half of it every single month. It's going to be very difficult, and in most cases impossible to ever catch up. And this is one of the things that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats have inside the HEROES Act, is they are offering a certain amount. I don't remember the exact amount. I think it's like $100 million or $1 billion, whatever it is. They're offering a certain amount of money to people that are behind on their rents, and this would help catch them up. So this money would go to your landlord to catch you up, and then also include the eviction moratorium. So again, you don't get kicked out of your house today, but you also don't get kicked out of your house in 6 months. Okay, so that would be a good thing, and that is currently inside the HEROES Act. But as far as new rental assistance programs, here are a couple. Okay, first we have a $20 million fund from Cook County, Illinois. This would be $4,500 per family. That should cover about 3 months worth of rent. Now, this could go out to about 7,000 different families. Here's what you need to understand. If you live in Cook County, currently it is not open. This will open for applications on August 10th. And this will go for about 8 days. So on August 18th, they will close the application process, and they will start to process those that have applied. So if you are living in Cook County, Illinois, this is your chance to get some type of rental assistance. Also, another county that is offering rental assistance is Hudson County out of New Jersey. They are offering $12 million for a fund. That is all they have. That's all the money they have allocated. And simply because that's all the money they have left from the CARES Act money. They've spent everything else. This is all they have left. They are going to allocate this to rental assistance. Okay? Currently, the plan has not yet been revealed because as of right now, as of shooting this video, they are trying to survey people from the county to see how much would they need, how long would they need it for, and all these different things. So once they have more information, which will probably be in the coming weeks, then they will start opening up the application process, where if you live in Hudson County, you can apply and hopefully you get approved and you get some money for paying your back rent. And the last thing, which I found extremely interesting, but we're going to talk about COVID-19 news. Now, COVID-19 is not interesting, okay? It's pretty depressing. However, there's a piece on here, and doing my research, that I found really interesting. Okay, I'm going to get to that in just a second. First off, the United States as a whole has been seeing less and less COVID-19 positive cases. That is a good thing. Some cities have been on the rise. We have been seeing more and more positive cases in certain cities. And a lot of these are warmer cities. However, as a whole, across the board in the United States, we are now seeing a downtrend. In other countries, they are starting to go up again. They have been being very relaxed with their mask mandates. They've been very relaxed with their social distancing. So I think currently, as the United States sits, there are more states that are requiring masks. There are more states that have more social distancing in place than others. So because of that, we are seeing it's turning into a positive thing for us. Now, here's what health experts are saying. Health experts attribute this success, okay, the downtrend, to mask mandates among states. Currently in Washington State, I know it's required to wear a mask when you're out in public or in certain restaurants and areas like that, when you can't social distance. The same thing goes for Oregon. I know same thing goes for some places in California, okay? Throughout many states, that's exactly what we're seeing. So that's what health experts are attributing this success to. Some economists, okay, this is where I think it's interesting. Some economists attribute COVID-19 cases to businesses closing their doors for good and the American people having less money and they can't afford to do anything. So we're looking at it from both sides. We have the health expert perspective where it's okay, masks are good, keep them on, and then we got the economist perspective where it's all right, masks are good, we agree with that. However, it could also be because more businesses are closing down, people have less money, people are less secure just being out, they can't afford anything, so why would they go to a bar or a restaurant or public area? People are gaining weight. This is a health expert thing, but people are gaining weight, so they don't want to go to a beach, they don't want to go camping, they don't want to go swimming. They're self-conscious now. So, and then the other thing is people are becoming more and more depressed, and it's because they're locked in their homes, they don't have a job, okay? The outlook on life is just dreary, right? They're gaining weight. There's so many issues here. But what you need to understand is hopefully something happens very soon. From reports, there are multiple drug manufacturers currently making a possible vaccine. Again, hopefully, let's pray that it happens very soon, because I can tell you right now, it is needed. So there you guys go. That is the news. That is the second stimulus check update news and stimulus package news for today, Saturday, August 8th. If you have any questions on stimulus related matters, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. I will also include a few different videos that I've done this week on ways for you to make money online using the power of the internet right from the comfort of your own home. So if you want to start making money right from home, then make sure you click one of those links down in the description box below. But thank you guys for watching today's stimulus check update and stimulus package update. If you have any questions, again, ask them down in the comment section below. Do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. As always, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next one.